is fear something that's really difficult for you to deal with, to look at, to face? Do you find it really scary when fear comes up? Does it overpower you? Does it feel like you're paralyzed and you're shrinking and you're not having any power over yourself anymore? And does it feel like you're giving your power to fear? If so, then this episode is all for you. I am Carolina Adjana Ma, and my channel is all about living life from love. So fear is the most important emotion, if you like, to overcome, to conquer, to master when we are wanting to prepare us to live in, the next stage of our evolution, which will be the fifth dimensional living. The fifth dimensional living is all about living from love. There will not be any fear existent in that state. And it will be, a life of community, of unity. The emphasis will be on, is everybody else all right? It's not at all anymore, am I all right? Do I have everything I need? It's all about the community and the unity. So this is just a small little glimpse of where we are going to. And in order to get there, we do need to overcome, delete and dissolve our fears. And I've promised you in past videos that I will give you 3 effective methods that I have used when fear comes up. And I guess a lot of you have had more fears coming up than usual because they are all being purged, through the situation we are in with this coronavirus pandemic, that, a lot of us have had to face maybe the money issues, maybe there wasn't enough money coming in anyway, and now there's definitely not enough money coming in. Maybe the job issue, that you haven't got a job anymore now, and you don't know what to do, and it feels like, very scary on the sort of safety levels, you don't know how will you survive, and of course that's all really, really understandable. Now, the way I am teaching the living life on earth and living life from love is always to live from love. And this is not what we are talking about right now in this video. It will come out in other videos. But today I want you to help you to really conquer fears, because that is our task now. We are being asked that by the universe, by Father, Mother, God, if you like, directly. Because fear has always been simply just an illusion. I'm talking about emotional fear, not the warning that our body gives us, when we are in danger. So I'm just talking about the emotional fear. And the emotional fear has gone out of proportion because we have developed an egoic mind. So there's duality going on, there's always 2 sides that we can experience life from. And the majority of us have lived, of course, from fear, because that's the realm that's where we are living from, because of duality, because of our fallen state, because we were not in alignment and in unity with our soul and with our higher self and our God consciousness. So fear is now, it's very important to that we look at it, we face it, and we overcome it. So the very first step, really is when you are feeling, so imagine you are actually really gripped by a certain fear right now. And it feels powerful, right? It feels big. It feels it's overshadowing you. It's bigger, it's larger than you, it's keeping hold of you. So, and it feels very real. So now, in that moment, it's very important to just remember, hang on, I am not in the realm of love here with this going on. To remember how powerful you truly are. And to make yourself now, the first step is to make yourself much, much larger as that fear. So you are allowed that fear to overpower you. And you're just sitting there, oh, don't do me anything, don't do anything to me, please, And it's a bit like, like cowering in the corner. And we are so used to it because we've never been told We don't have to put up with this. We don't have to be like that. We just need to remember how powerful we are. The fear is more, it's kind of like, it is an illusion because it's just scaring us, you know, it's just emotion, it's just energy. But it can't really do anything to us as soon as we remember how powerful we are. You see, can you get that? And then, so when the fear is coming and it's being so overpowering to you, then it's almost like you're shredding it off, you know, you're throwing off the grip, the energy it has on you, and you're empowering yourself and rise kind of like out of the ashes, and imagine you're becoming very large, much larger than that fear. So now, how does it feel? It's easier, right? Much, much easier. The proportions come back to normal, and the fear is just a small little thing that is just in your environment right now. And then you can make that with your mighty power, because you can do what you choose. You can make that fear shrink. So you command it to shrink and to see it happening. Like maybe you see it as a picture, like a mental picture, and you know, you just see it shrink down to the size of a stamp. And then it's just hanging there somewhere in the corner. And instead, you can change the picture if you like. If you want to have another picture in your mind, instead of the fearful version, then just do that. Create the opposite. You know, maybe if you're fearing that you won't have enough money to live on, and you're fearing that you can't support your family, you can't survive, and then just shrink that down to a stamp-sized picture, and then see yourself being fine the way you've always been. You know, you have got everything you need, and you feel content. Just see in the picture that you're at peace, and you go through your life, and you actually notice in that picture that you are feeling better than you did before, because you're happier. You're not in that job anymore that you didn't like anyway. And somehow, because you believed in it, life brought you a better job. Or maybe you started being self-employed. Something has changed that made you more content now. So, how does that feel, you know? And then stay in that empowered state. Stay large. Have the exercise every day anyhow to make yourself expand, you know, expand out beyond your house, beyond your town, even as big as your country, even as big as the whole globe, if you like. Because you as an infinite being, you are infinite, right? And so the more you're connecting and aligning with the truth of who you are, the less there's room for any fear. If you practice this, there will not be any room for fear. You know, this is actually enough almost to practice diminishing fear with your own power. But if there is, I have to say this, if there is a trauma and that has left you, you know, in a fearful state to do with a certain situation again and again, then that trauma will have to be released. You know, that's a different method. That really needs some proper intervention, really, to go in with your unconscious mind, and I can help you with that if that's what you need. You know, I help you to go back to the time when it was created. So we go and find the root cause, and we then shift it and change it, and so that you can actually release the energy of fear out of your being, out of your body. And okay, so that's a different method, but I want to give you just some tools, the three tools that you can do by yourself now in any time, you know. So the number one is to actually make yourself larger than the fear and come back to the true state of who you are. And the number two is, say again, you're having this this fear in, you know, in your environment, in your consciousness probably, and the one thing most people want to do is to avoid it, you know, is to distract themselves, is to do something different, you know, whatever it is you're doing, and that will make it come back, right? It's done, it's not gone. That's not really a method. It's maybe a coping method, but it's not a way to eliminate it. And the way to eliminate it would be to face it. It's not, to do exactly the opposite, because again, you are mighty powerful. And if you're running from it, you're not owning your power. You're believing that the fear is more powerful and it can get you. But it's just that belief, it's the belief that it can get you, makes it so powerful. And all you need to do is really to hang on a minute. Is that true? Can the fear really get me? Can the fear really overpower me? Can the fear really harm me? A fear can harm me? Is that true? And you probably will find that it actually can't. It can only do that when you believe in it and give it your power, because the fear itself doesn't have any power. It just has energy. It has a scary energy that is very scary for us sensitive beings. And we do have to remember who we truly are. We are powerful beings. We are pure unconditional love. And love is something that fear is probably fearing. If it was an entity that is giving you the fear, actually a dark being, and if you are giving it love, it's the thing that will make it shrink and go, and yeah, I've heard psychic people talking about this and actually seeing that happening. So it's always about remembering who you are and facing the fear directly. I used to have nightmares where I was chased by somebody. I don't even know who it was, because I was always running away. And then I was advised, by a shaman to stop in my dream. I thought, can I change my dreams really? And I'd never done that before. But I had the intention to stop and turn around and to look who's actually chasing me there. And to kind of like, go strong like this and stand there. I'm not scared of you, And it actually stopped. I never had them again. And so this is what I would advise you to do, with any fear, whether it's just a small fear or a larger fear, is to summon up all your mighty power and to look at it and to face it, and maybe you need to feel it. Maybe it's a strong emotional fear of maybe a fear of not feeling safe, or a fear of getting ill, a fear of dying. And, only when you really face it, when you face it and you feel it, go into it, go right down, deep down into that feeling. So you're connecting with it, you're becoming one with it, because you are so brave. And then see what it's like. What is the fear saying? Maybe it's telling you a bit of a story, Maybe it's showing you a past event that actually happened, and that's why you're having that fear. And then again, like I said, it needs to be dissolved, the past event. But you can still just face it and deal with it, and then embrace it, send it your love from your heart. Just see this energy coming out from your heart and embrace the fear and pull it towards you as if it's a being, and then pull it into your heart. And so then it won't be a part that's separate out there anymore in front of you or somewhere in your body and, sabotaging you, stopping you, holding you back, influencing you. When it's in your heart, it's one with you, and then it can't influence you. See, that's also a very powerful process. And then another one, the last one that I've also practiced some 7 years ago, when I was going through a period of not having enough work, and so therefore the money would go down, every month a bit more. And then I was actually facing 1 month where I didn't know how to pay my rent. And I had to really stop this pattern. And I couldn't go to sleep, I was thinking about it so much, and really I was so scared that I couldn't pay the rent. And for me, that was an absolute no-no, I just absolutely not going to happen. And, I can't remember the exact fear that it was, but it's just not having enough, not having enough was going on in my head a lot. And while I couldn't go to sleep, I just and what could I do, what I was thinking, what can I do with this? And the best weapon, if you like, always is unconditional love. And I know that, and it's deeply ingrained in me. So I started saying, I love you to the fear. And I felt it, you know, this sort of feeling of not having enough. And I said, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I probably said it for about an hour. And so basically I was constantly sending love to that fear, yeah. And after the hour, it faded. It was probably just 50%. It was little enough for me to drop off and go to sleep. The next night, it's come back, but a lot less, you know, 50% less. And I did the same thing again, maybe not so long, you know, and I just told it, I love you, I love you, I love you. Sending my love from my heart to this fear. And then I did it for the third time, maybe not the third night, but I think it was the fourth night. And I did it again, and it was less again, you know. And from that moment onwards, I never had that fear again. I never was then in that situation ever again. And I was very, very pleased that I did that, because I could have easily been in that situation now at this point in time with the pandemic, you know. And so you see, because that's how it is. If you want to deal with one big fear, if you deal with it for good and really dissolve it, then it's not going to come back, you know. And that's what I really want you to achieve. So I hope these 3 tips helped you. Please try them out. Do your best. Practice maybe. And because I really, really, really would love you to be fear-free more sooner than later, you know. And to practice to stay strong whenever there's a fear coming, a slight little fear. Maybe you've got, you know, I used to have a fear of dogs. Whenever I was walking on the streets and there was a bigger dog that was barking and, you know, looked a bit out of control sort of thing, then, you know, and just to kind of, okay, just let go. It's okay. Send love, you know. And it always works, you know. Love is always the answer. So especially with fear, you know. So I really hope this has helped you. Please let me know. Give me a like. Do write some questions if you have any. Do some, you know, commenting if you like. If you have any experiences you'd like to share, I'd love to hear from you. I really love to connect with you. And, you know, if you do have questions, then I can make a video about it. So I look forward to hearing from you, and hit the subscribe button if you want to hear more about living life from love. Great. So I see you next time on Sunday again. Bye for now.